Today, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to be talking about, is Tesla stock still a buy right now in November of 2020? So it's still up massively for the year, right? It's basically been staying the same for around the last 3 or 4 months. It's literally been in the 400 mark. It touched 500 barely and the end of August, but since then it's literally stayed about $400. So is it still a buy even after it's up over 500% in a year? You guys know me personally, I've been if you've watched my previous Tesla stock videos, you know I've been buying it around $60 since 2018 basically. So I'm up over 500% on my position that I personally have. But is it still a buy? If you haven't entered Tesla and you really like the company, I'm going to be explaining all of that in this video. Right before we jump into it, make sure to click my link down below. If you haven't signed up for Webull, definitely make sure to do so. You'll get 3 free stocks just by signing up and depositing $100. So why not? If you live in the US, make sure to definitely do it. Webull is probably my favorite brokerage. On top of Robinhood, it's definitely better than Robinhood. So if you don't have Webull already, I definitely make sure to sign up. So by looking at this, it's been, like I said, it's been fairly flat over the last few months, right? Since literally August, it hasn't really been that volatile because Tesla, you guys gotta know that Tesla stock is crazy volatile. Like it goes from 100, it goes all the way down to 70, back up to like 300. Like it's been up and up, but also it's been having definitely some downs. Just this year it saw a 50% dip just this year. Back in February, I remember holding it and it going up from 60. I remember doubling my money back at the beginning of this year and then watching that be cut in half in the middle of the pandemic. I bought some shares, but not that much at the bottom. It wasn't $80 back then. It was like before the split, it was like at 400 back then before the split. So that's definitely crazy. So I know a lot of people that watch this channel actually bought when I was making Tesla videos at that time. But looking at today's valuation, let's get to that. It's technically insanely overvalued, right? At 800p, 4p is what I usually look at. It's at 100, which is obviously pretty expensive. It's like triple what it's quadruple, right? The market runs at 25p, so it's 4 times what a market usually runs at. But I don't really think this is that bad, in my opinion. If you guys are long term in the company, I'm not talking about 6 months, I'm talking about like 1 year at least, and then preferably like 3 to 5 years at least, if you want to buy this stock and you really are bullish on it and you're not going to sell if it goes down. If you look at the price targets with ARK Invest, now ARK Invest obviously has been holding the stock for I don't know how many years. They've literally been holding the stock for maybe 3 years now, and they think the stock is going to go to 7,000. And when they made these predictions, now this is not actually 7,000, it's actually 1,400 because after the split, they literally guessed that or predicted that this stock would be at 7,000 all the way back in January 31st. But I'm pretty sure they even knew that this was going to happen way before that. And that's pretty crazy that they actually made that thing. And they still stand by it today. They actually just recently put out an article on full self-driving and how big of a market that could be. That market of full self-driving is expected to be around a few $1 trillion, just the self-driving market. A third of it will be in like overseas in China and stuff like that, but most of it is expected to be in the US, and Tesla's obviously dominating it now. When you look at the market cap, it's been at 400 since like August, right? What has changed since then? The stock price has been flat, but what has changed is the release of full self-driving. Like a lot of people, I feel like this has gone a lot under the radar just because Tesla is already so expensive. But if you were buying Tesla stock anywhere in these like 2-3 months, you did not know when full self-driving would be released. It could be a year from now, who knows? But since then, obviously Elon Musk released full self-driving beta, and it's actually pretty decent. Like you can see there's like tons of videos. There's like, I would definitely recommend you guys watch. There's like hours of people just driving with it on that have the beta already, and it works pretty nicely. Like it literally in this video you can see it's stopping for a bicyclist. So, and it does it pretty rapidly. Like the guy wasn't even paying attention and it stopped for him. It went from like 20 miles an hour, and it slowed down all the way to like 10 for him. So it's definitely pretty good, and we can definitely see how full self-driving is ahead of all the competition. Obviously, Elon Musk said it was rolling out back in October 20, and the stock price didn't even move that much in October 20, which is very interesting. Would I buy this? If I was really bullish at Tesla, I would definitely be looking to buy some shares and always pick them up, because especially if it ever dips below 400, in my opinion, especially another big caveat is if or when Joe Biden actually goes through as being the president, or if he does, then that will be even bigger for Tesla, in my opinion, because obviously, dude, he wants to get rid of oil altogether. That's a little bit crazy, in my opinion, and it is crazy, but he wants to do that. And obviously, like Tesla, if he does do any sort of subsidies to get rid of oil, you're going to have to pump a lot of money into these electric companies. And I do think that Tesla would be, even if, let's say he doesn't become president or he doesn't do anything about this, I still think Tesla would do just fine. You see every other automaker be so behind with the technology of batteries and stuff like that. One of the biggest new electric vehicles right now that a lot of people are talking about is like the Hummer truck. Dude, that's no competition. That'll like maybe touch 1% of the sales, not even. Like that's not even competition for Tesla, in my opinion, because the Hummer truck is supposed to supposedly be better than the Cybertruck, but you can buy two Cybertrucks for the price of one Hummer, and who's gonna do that? Man, no one's gonna do that, unless you're a crazy Hummer or GMC fan, which I don't even know who's a GMC fan anymore in 2020. I don't really think anyone is. You're probably not going to buy a Hummer, especially if you're going to pay double the price than when you could buy any other truck. You can buy a Ford truck, a Ford, and a Cybertruck for the price of a Hummer. Yeah, man, it's no competition to Tesla, man. So I do think that, especially if at this point, it's almost when the full self-driving taxi network comes out. And if they can execute on that, this is going to be easily a $1 trillion company, in my opinion, as it continues to go up. But I'm not saying it's going to happen in 5 years. I'm talking about 10 years down the road. Easily will happen, in my opinion. Just like how Apple's, like 10 years ago, Apple was like going to be like one of the biggest companies. But they slowly did it, right? They didn't just overnight become big. They slowly kept increasing revenues to where they are today, being one of the biggest companies. Definitely think that's how Tesla is going to be. Obviously, another one was Apple wanted to make their own self-driving cars, right? And 2 years ago, Elon Musk talked about Apple and competing with Tesla. They're like, oh, Apple can definitely compete with us, but they're going to have to step up their game. That was 2 years ago. 2 years later, they haven't done a single thing. They haven't even released anything with full self-driving, despite hiring a ton of people. Like Apple hired a ton of people to try to compete with Tesla in this space. 2 years later, they haven't even said a single thing about it. So they're even more behind the dust right now in terms of that. What analysts are expecting for Tesla to do next year is 45% now. That is definitely a very nice number, especially since a lot of analysts don't even really care about Tesla that much, to be honest, or they used to not. Now I guess they're getting a little more bullish, but for the longest time, analysts used to always downplay Tesla going bankrupt, stuff like that. Now 45% increase, man. Like if the P ratio, if you guys bought it at a Ford P at 43, you got a steal, right? So if you don't want to, if you think it's too expensive in today's numbers, I would definitely wait a little bit and wait until it dips under 400. I mean, if we have another down day like this for Tesla, you're already there. If it dips under 400, and the high, it's been at 500 at one point, so you can get it under 400 and get up to 500. You've made already a pretty good profit, because I definitely think Tesla is just up from here. Obviously, don't expect you to buy this stock and get insane gains. I'm not saying this is the best stock to buy to get insane gains. There's probably other stocks out there if you want to 4x your money in like a few years. But Tesla, if you really are bullish into this company, you have to buy it. I would definitely go for it. Don't just buy it blindly, because if you buy the stock blindly and it goes down to 300, you're probably going to be discouraged and sell. But if you really believe in this company long term and it goes down to 300, you're not going to sell. Like if you were not a believer in this company and you kept it, you probably bought it at like 500. it came down to 330 and you sold, but right now it's back up. So it's all about how bullish you are on the company and if you're gonna hold the stock or not. If you really do believe in it, I would definitely go for it and purchase the stock today, or at least buy some of it and then continue increasing your position as the stock goes down, as you see dips and so on. So hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this helped. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.